Roger that. Here we go. Here we go. Sorry about that. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. It's a cold afternoon out in late January, but you know what? We may get some snow over the weekend, but as usual, we have an awesome guest today, heating things up in here, and we're not going to worry about that. We're going to get through it. We always do. Before we get there, I got to read these great underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So, we got Auto Country, king of the used car in Abington, number one in the deal raters for 2021. We got Lynch's Towing, Auto, Cycle, and Truck Center in Brockton, one number for towing, one number for projects. We got Eli's Auto Repair in Taunton. We got Bella Music Center in Norton. We got C&J Auto Body, Auto Glass Towing in Abington. That's in Stoughton. I'm sorry about that. We got Intuitive Hair Salon in Attleboro. We got Autotown Auto Glass Install. That's in Abington. We got John's Greenhouses and Florist Shop in Brockton. We got RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton. Been doing floors for 50 plus years. We got the Gunrunner LLC in Middleborough, dedicated to your Second Amendment rights, where our customers are their friends. And we got Doggy Boutique, All Breed Professional Grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next door neighbor, Debbie Siddell in Brockton. We got Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We got Brighter Days Hair Salon in Taunton. We got Easton Fitness right in the Village Shops in Northeastern. And we got Joe's Diner in Taunton. And I want to thank you guys very much. And now, on that note, I'll introduce this very colorful young lady. This is Ash Vicious. She's a very colorful clothes designer, artist, and she found me on Facebook through someone else that I had on the show last year. And I love it when other people find me because that makes me realize that I am out there, not that I didn't know it already. So on that note, Ash, I want to thank you for coming in and coming up all the way from the beautiful state of Connecticut,
yeah,
of which I've had quite a few people.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Okay, that's what. Now you look like you're made up for a circus, but I'm sure that's just, you know, it's your fashion statement and it's really cool.
Yeah, no, I mean that's kind of what I go for, the clown look, right?
Yeah, exactly. I know that's what I was thinking, clown look.
Yep, absolutely.
It's funny. I didn't even think that until you took the mask off, and I just saw you now, and that's awesome. I mean,
thank you.
I was on the Bozo Show 55 years ago yesterday. That's when I made my TV debut. Actually, that was January 25th of 1967 when I was a snotting 7-year-old, and I posted that on Facebook the other day.
That's so cool.
Okay, but now what we do is, like with all my guests, I profile the guests. I try to find out what they were like as kids growing up. I don't think you're that old. Tell me about, you know, what you did as a kid, what got you into what you're doing now, and if I have any questions, I'll fire them away. Where did you grow up, and what was it like for you, and what did you do, and let's talk about that, and we'll move on from there.
So I've grown up in Trumbull my whole life.
Okay.
I've always been very artistic. My whole family is full of artists.
Okay.
My mom's into painting, my dad's into drawing, my grandfather does upholstery. You know, it's kind of been all over there.
Okay.
I grew up with a punk rock dad and hippie mother, so
Okay.
I grew up in the scene where, you know, it's very normal to express yourself in more of the crazy ways. And then, you know, once I got older, you know, I couldn't really find any clothes that I really liked in shops and stuff.
Okay. Why not? What was wrong with them? They just look too normal, too conventional for you?
Exactly.
Okay.
And, you know, even the things that were more of my style, they were too expensive. And, I couldn't afford that being a teenager. You know, my parents weren't paying that.
Not in a rich family. I get it. Okay.
Not at all. So, you know, I kind of eventually started doing it myself. And I found, you know, a huge love for it.
Cool.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, all right. Now, how old were you when you started doing it yourself?
When I started doing it myself, I think I was about 11 years old.
Okay.
And then I've kind of worked up from there.
All right. When you say doing it yourself, well, how did you start? I mean, finger painting, acrylics?
So I've always been painting.
Right.
But
because you said you started as real young, you were already artistic because
yes.
Your family was, you know, inbred in you, obviously.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I think I really started working on clothes once I hit about 12 years old.
Okay.
I got really into the punk rock scene. And I found a lot of bands that I liked that I couldn't really find clothes for. So I really started out by taking old T-shirts or something and making them into patches, sewing them onto my pants and stuff. My grandmother taught me how to sew at a very young age, so it was always very easy for me.
Without pricking your finger, I
Yeah.
hope.
Oh,
Good.
well.
Yeah. Even though you got a million body piercings now, those were all deliberate.
That's no different.
Okay, right. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. What punk rock groups were you that inspired you? Tell me about them.
Well, I think a lot of it was more of like the ska punk scene, so
Okay.
it was like that beautiful blend of reggae. So I kind of got both from my mom and my dad. People like the Dead Milkmen. I love Rancid. Rancid is definitely one of my favorite bands.
Rancid's pretty hot.
I just saw them not too long ago, actually. It was
Okay.
such a pleasure. Even Sublime. Sublime's my favorite band in the
But
entire
Sublime,
world.
they're not really a rock. They're not really. I mean, they did a song called "Oh, Early in the Morning," right?
Yep, yeah, so
that was 25 years ago, 1997.
Yep, they do
you
a
must
lot
have
of,
been pretty
like-
young then, if you were even born.
No, I was born in 2000.
You were, yeah, exactly. Wow.
So I grew up with all the influence from my parents' music and stuff. I definitely have my dad's taste in music.
That's amazing because I remember that song when I was already in my late 30s in 1997.
Yeah, no, they're great.
They are. They're still performing now.
No, Bradley passed away a while ago, and they have
bad.
a new band though. It's Sublime with Rome.
Okay.
But they have more of like a techno, group to it. So it's not really my thing. But
Okay.
they have a cover band, Badfish, that plays around New Haven and Connecticut all the time. And
Right.
I
Are
see
they
them
from
every
the
single
area?
time. I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, I understand. Well, you're not really a musical historian. But how do you? All right. How do you collaborate punk rock with your art? How do you figure on doing that?
So honestly, that's really kind of where all of like the DIY clothes came from. Was
Okay.
like DIY culture in the punk scene is huge. I mean, it was all dirty, poor kids that
Yep.
couldn't afford to do anything. They sewed things together with tooth floss and stuff like that.
Right, right. And spray paint.
Yeah, very independent. Just do it my way or the highway.
Exactly. Okay. Right. Independent. You like it, lump it, love it, lump it, or leave it, whatever, all that stuff.
Exactly.
Lump it, or lump it, whatever. That's true. Okay. So you're basically a free spirit at heart, going back to the that's the punk rock side of you.
Absolutely.
Okay. And when you were all right, so let's go a little forward. What did you do when you were in school? When you got older, you continued doing this. Were you doing this all through your high school years too?
Yeah, so I started in middle school, all throughout high school. I eventually went to college for hair. So
Where?
I went to Oxford Academy
In Oxford, in Connecticut?
yes, in
Okay.
Connecticut.
Okay.
And I got my degree or my license for cosmetology, so I do hair and makeup professionally.
Okay.
And I love it, but the salon scene really isn't right for me. I'd rather work for myself and for myself, doing something that makes me feel good and makes other people feel good.
Okay. Have you ever worked on any of the punk rockers? Ever done any work for them? Made the jackets? Painted them up? Pierced them up?
Oh, I've definitely done a few piercings myself, but
I mean, only to you, but not to anyone else?
Oh no, I've done that too.
Oh,
but,
for other people, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I have yet to get a license for that though. But
Okay.
so I've done a lot with local bands from Connecticut.
Okay.
I used to do a lot of face paint for like Halloween shows.
Okay.
The band that is actually on my shirt today, they're a few of my best buddies are the two guitarists,
Okay.
and I make a few outfits for them. They've worn a few of my designs that I've done, like on stage work. Whenever they really want to add more of a personalized feel to it, they come to me.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, do you now? Your name is kind of touted about among the local punkers down there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
So, I mean, the Vicious comes from Sid Vicious from the Sex Pistols.
Okay.
It's not the greatest name to have chosen for now.
No, it's okay.
Sid
It's not a
Vicious
bad
wasn't-
name.
Sid Vicious wasn't the greatest person, but I'm trying to,
That's
take
your
that
name,
and-
right? That's what you're going with.
I'm taking it and turning it around into something a little more pleasant to hear about,
Right, exactly. Okay.
Yep.
Now, as far as like promoting your wares, how far have you gone to do that? Do you ship out on Amazon, or do you just do local so far?
Right now, I really just try to do local. I try to keep it as cheap as possible for people too,
Right, so they can afford it.
Exactly. That's the biggest thing about my business is that I really try and keep it affordable. I take everything secondhand, so everything that I buy for the clothing that I do is all like very, very dirt cheap base rates, and try to keep it.
Do you ever sell anything at
pricey.
concerts?
No, I'm getting there though. Eventually.
Right. I figure that sooner or later.
Absolutely.
Okay. I mean, I'm just wondering now. Have you ever I'm wondering if for some stuff like this, you might want to do even a commercial, a TV commercial.
Yep.
It might be kind of cool.
Oh, yeah,
With
I
some
mean-
music behind it, something really snazzy.
Yeah.
Something that you write, that you and your friends write.
Yeah, no, that's definitely in the works.
Okay.
I'm definitely working with my friends at Pull the Curtain.
Okay.
I've talked to them a lot about, even making designs for them for patches and like other like clothes and stuff that they use. Even other like local bands.
Okay.
Same thing, like kind of setting up very simple stuff to sell at their merch tables and stuff.
Okay. Have you ever done anything for our mutual friend Rex, who was a great guest here last year?
I've never done anything for him personally, but he is eventually planning on buying something from me once I have a little more time on my hands.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, then let's figure out why you don't have. You're obviously pretty busy with this every day, right?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So, all right, so tell me about what does a day look like for you then most of the time during the week? I assume, is it a 7-day-a-week job for you, or is it just 5-day-a-week, 6
Oh,
days?
it's every day, all day.
Every day, all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's what I love to do, so it's really, it's not
It's not
hard.
even a job. I know. I know
Exactly.
the old saying: if you love it, it's not work.
Exactly.
But so what is it? So what does that consist of? How do you get it out there on the open market down in Connecticut or wherever you go?
So a lot of the times, I mean, even today we went to a bagel shop, and
Okay.
people
Yeah,
see
you're right.
my
You go right to the businesses.
exactly.
Cool.
People see my stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I really like that. Where'd you get them?" And I say, "I made them." And they ask me, "How much? How much do you do? Where can I get it?" And I usually send them to my Instagram that I have dedicated strictly to my clothing and stuff. And I usually do a lot of promotion from my Facebook, TikTok,
I've seen it. It's
Instagram, and
incredible.
stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've always had a very large following on those things from usually my hair and makeup. So it's pretty easy to get my stuff out there. It's pretty nice.
You just gave me a great idea for you. You went into a bagel shop. Now go there and make them a bagel with all the colors that you can imagine on the
Yeah,
spectrum
right.
on there.
Like the rainbow bagels that
Yeah.
they have. Those are awesome.
I mean,
love
just
them.
think. I know they're delicious and colorful.
Yeah.
The only problem with that is they look so good to eat.
Yeah, I know.
Right,
You don't
because
want
once
to
you
eat
eat them,
them.
they're gone.
Yeah.
But that's why you make more, and therein lies your production for supply and demand.
Absolutely.
The more you supply and consume, the more they demand them, and then you'll make more. Have
Absolutely.
you ever thought of doing that, doing other things besides clothes, designing other things? What about painting and drawing? Do you do that too?
Yeah, that's kind of how I started out. So I
Okay,
started
right,
out
right.
with designing tattoos for people
Okay.
because my start of this was, trying to get a tattoo apprenticeship.
Okay.
And
Apprenticeship, you said?
Yeah.
Or now you have to go to a licensed tattoo parlor for doing that, right? To get
Yep.
that done. Okay.
So usually you have like about a year of work working under like the other tattoo artists and kind of learning about the shop and stuff. And
Right.
I've had a few lined up for me, but nothing's really kind of fallen into place as far as COVID's kind of messed that
Yeah,
up
of
for me a
course.
lot.
Yes, naturally.
Yep, and like a lot of what I used to do is I do costume work.
Okay.
So being in the hair industry, there are a lot of like hair and makeup shows.
Okay.
And I found my love for that in college. I did my first hair and makeup show, and then I got invited by the Raw artists. They do like shows all around the country.
Cool.
And they told me, come in. We want you to do a show for us. And I had 3 models, including myself.
Okay.
And basically just walk out and, I think it was an Alice in Wonderland theme, so I handmade every part of my costumes. I dyed all their hair and did makeup and stuff. And from then, that's really when people started asking me, can you make costumes for me? Do you sell clothes and stuff? And, that
That's
kind of
awesome.
stuff.
What about like people doing films and stuff like that? Do you ever do any work on? You ever done any like clothes designs for people in films? There's a lot of filmmakers down there. I don't know if you know Joe McGee. Okay, he's a big Connecticut filmmaker. He's a friend of mine, and he was a guest on the show a few years ago. You might want to look him up and
Yeah,
see if they need any.
absolutely.
He's always doing these really, crazy, like spy show films and stuff. I mean, you look like you could be a Russian spy.
Yeah.
Possibly, although it might be a
Slovak,
poor choice of
close
words
enough.
with current events the way they are. But nevertheless, we got to make light of everything.
Absolutely.
No, I'm just saying. There's all kinds of. There's probably more opportunities besides what All right. What exactly? All right. You gone into a bagel shop today. Where do you usually go? Do you just drive around the city of New Haven or wherever and see what looks like? The people need to be dressed a little more fancier than they are. Is that it?
So a lot of the times, I'm very into the local show scene. I love music. I love going to shows. I may not be in a band, but I love supporting them.
Of course.
There was a point where I was going to shows every weekend. Anything that costs less than $40, I would go
Oh,
to.
yeah, okay.
Especially Toad's Place. I would be there literally every Saturday. if they
Selling
had
stuff
something.
selling stuff outside the building. Is that
I mean,
it?
yeah, pretty much. I used
Okay.
to, they have people that sell pins and stuff. I used to sell patches out there. Even that like Warped Tour and stuff when that was still a thing. I had people asking me to buy like patches and stuff. They used to just take the patches right off my vest and stuff like this stuff. They would just take them right off and I'd sell them to them.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, but didn't that kind of ruin the design of your vest
Oh,
before
yeah.
you got rid of it? You didn't care?
No, I didn't care. I mean, these things change around
You can
all
always
the time.
make more.
Absolutely.
Okay, same thing as the bagel idea.
Yeah,
Except it's
exactly.
okay. Wow. Okay. Now, how far? Now, but so far you've gone like door to door. Have you ever like you said and on Facebook too?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever gotten any orders from around the world or around the country?
So I actually have a friend in Arizona that
Okay.
he's probably one of my biggest customers.
Cool.
I've sold him quite a few things from patches to T-shirts, and I'm working on a pair of pants for him right now.
Okay.
I'd say that's probably the farthest out that I've gone right now.
That's
But
okay.
hopefully,
Across the country.
yeah, hopefully I'm trying to reach to around California because that's where I plan on migrating to. A little bit
Eventually
better of a
going out
scene.
there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Right. Right. Okay.
But
No, all right. Now, have you ever actually? You said you've not worked with any musicians, or you have? You have
Yes.
written them stuff.
Yep.
And have they ever offered to like put you in? Maybe put you in a video or something? That'd be kind
Oh
of
yeah.
cool.
So I've definitely been offered a lot more. It's more of like thrown around stuff.
Yeah.
One of my friends who's a filmmaker, he was trying to make a horror movie, and I was
Okay.
supposed to do special effects and costumes for that. Again, COVID really kind of
Yeah,
messed that
yeah,
up for
threw a monkey
everybody,
wrench into it, right.
Yeah. So we've kind of been waiting for everyone to not be so sick to get back on that path.
Okay, I understand, and that'll be pretty soon. Now, before COVID started, I assume you were really, pretty hot and heavy into doing this, right?
Absolutely.
And you
So-
were meeting up a lot of people and stuff.
Yeah.
Back in like 2019, before
Oh, yeah.
nobody knew what it was, obviously then.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, and so eventually you. Now, in terms, do you do anything now? Now that we're still with COVID, you do a lot of Zoom sales too. I mean, reaching out to people like that.
Not particularly. I mean, my work kind of sells itself, and not
It does.
to
Okay.
sound like
So
but.
okay.
You post one thing and, I've even had people back out of offers, and then I post it on, like, say, my Snapchat, even with my close friends, and they're like, oh, I want it,
Okay.
So
All right.
it's pretty in demand, especially with things being so cheap, as cheap as I try to make them, it's pretty sought after. It's pretty nice.
Okay, well, you brought some stuff in today. I assume you want to show it off. So
Yeah,
why don't you do that?
absolutely.
Why don't you do like a little fashion show at the table here and point out what you have?
So this is actually a shirt from a line that I'm working on right now. This is a little prototype.
What's it called? Spike?
I don't really have a name for the line just yet.
Okay.
Probably something along the lines of "Get Lost," like
Love
it
the
says.
picture on the back, by the
And
way.
then, and on the back, it's got a little funky guy. I really try to go with the spikes and the skulls and, drippy stuff. I really try to keep it in the punk scene.
Of course.
This is actually my fiance's sweatshirt that I designed for him
Cool.
way back when for his birthday. And I think this is one of the biggest things that I had done at the time. And most of my stuff consists of like bleach work. It consists of like painting, lots of studs. I haven't gotten a chance to stud this one all up yet.
Okay.
And then this, I'm gonna scooch that. This is actually from one of my latest commissions.
Cool.
I had someone pay for me to do this for them. And these are probably my favorite pair of pants that I've ever done. It's really hard for me not to keep them all to myself. There's a lot of patchwork. I do everything hand sewn, lots of painting, all the
You got
all the
everyone on
crazy
South
stuff.
Park in those pants. And
Yeah,
and
exactly.
some other of the characters too. Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Absolutely. And a lot of the stuff glows under UV too. I try to keep the concert scene like
Hail the
kind of
Snail. You got him too.
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. And then this is my most recent project that I'm working on. I haven't decided whether or not it's finished yet, but it's probably my favorite.
Okay, it's a jacket.
Yeah, a lot of like kind of groovy swirls and stuff.
You
Working
got
on.
Tweety on the back in green.
And then,
Tweety Bird.
It's
Is that-
a little monster guy. I love
okay. I
love
thought from here it
monsters.
looked like
Monsters
Tweety
are always
Bird.
my
Okay,
favorite.
sweet.
I like to keep it in like the spooky, scary, monstery type
I get
thing.
it. Now that looks like it's a little small though. Is that one you're going to be wearing? Is that gonna-
Absolutely not. I just try and grab anything that I can off
Okay.
of like Goodwill, Savers, places like that. Anything that I see that, I think I can kind of revamp into something better.
Yeah, I see. No, it looks great.
And then,
Your mug too.
yes, I've got this little mug. I'm hopefully like planning on selling more stuff like this, like more homeware and stuff, for people that maybe don't want to dress like that, but still want it in their house.
Of course.
And this was like probably one of the most fun things to make. I mean, I absolutely love doing ceramics and stuff, but unfortunately I don't have a wheel at home to completely make all that stuff by myself yet, but hopefully soon in the,
I'm looking at you now and I'm thinking you might be one of the the mascots for one of the sports teams down there. One of the dance.
Yeah, absolutely.
They used to have this. The New York Knicks basketball team used to have a creature, not a creature, but a guy called Dancing Harry. And he was dressed like you. He was a guy. Obviously, you're a girl, but I'm just saying that might be kind of cool to maybe consider doing that.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
you obviously you like pageantry and you're really good at it.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of my stuff really revolves around show work. That's really
Yep.
kind of where I got started out. I've done everything from drag to like hair and makeup shows and stuff. And,
Okay.
I mean, it's a lot of fun. I try and do anything that I can get my hands on that has to do with creativity.
Of course. Now, when you say drag, you actually help. You worked out drag queen shows and that.
Oh, I actually I am a drag queen king myself. So I've done shows myself, and I mean they're
Okay.
just so much fun. Just being super exaggerated in something that's not real, and just being like the fullest version of yourself in the weirdest way possible, and you
Okay.
get to dance and pretend to sing to music. So I mean it's just great, and I love the environment. It's so amazing.
It is, yeah. Okay. Now, have you ever performed at any of the major studios down there, like maybe at the Hartford Civic Center?
Oh no, unfortunately not. My first really big hair and makeup show was at the Webster in
Webster, Mass.
yes.
Okay.
Oh, no, Webster in Connecticut. The
Okay.
Webster Arena, I
Okay,
believe.
but is that the town of Webster? What's the town?
It's in Hartford.
It's
Sorry.
in Hartford. Okay, so
Yes,
I
it's
got it.
Hartford.
That's what I was going to
Yep.
add. Then you did perform in Hartford there.
Yes.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
It was probably. I mean, it was crazy because I was performing on the same stage that I saw these giant artists that I've listened to since I was a kid perform on. I
There
mean,
you
it was
go.
really just
you
breathtaking.
probably made them cheer even louder than the artist did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Well,
it's
I
great.
mean, no, I don't know. You might want to. Do you have any friends that are musical aside from Rex? I mean, do you have any friends that? What I'm getting at is, do you have any musical friends that might help you promote your stuff? That might be cool.
Absolutely. So, like I said, my buddies at Pull the Curtain, I'm working on an outfit for them right now, so
Okay.
they can really wear it during their shows and kind of show my stuff off more on like the stage scene. I used to be good friends with a local band from up in like Brantford.
Okay.
And
I know what Brantford is.
I did a lot of stuff for their Halloween shows. I
Okay.
did their hair and makeup, and then I was going to design a costume for them for like the whole band.
Okay.
But COVID kind
Yes,
of ruined
obviously.
everything. So
Big C, I know.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. But that's gonna eventually you're gonna come back. But you're still in touch with them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that are like in the process of being in the works, but can only do so much right now, unfortunately. Like
No,
there
I
are-
know you can. I realize that. Now you look very athletic and fit. Do you work out regularly?
Oh no, nope.
Really?
I sit in my studio all day long.
No
That's
kidding.
it.
Boy, you got about an 8-inch waist.
Yep.
That's
yeah,
pretty
no, it's
impressive. You must have a
all
fast
genetics.
metabolism, though.
Absolutely.
That keeps you busy and stuff. All right. You don't smoke, do you?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
Thank
Well,
God.
there you go. No, you're still young, and you obviously do whatever you do. It's keeping you healthy, and that's
Yep.
important. And obviously, you're doing what you love and everything. Do you have your own studio at home?
Yeah, so actually, me and my fiance just got our own place together with
Okay,
his
cool.
grandmother, and the whole basement, is kind of a work in progress. But I've got my own little setup down there.
Okay.
And hopefully, it's going to be, like the little dream studio that I've always wanted.
Oh, I'm sure. And it's not hopefully. I'm sure. Well, how long do you think it'll be before it's finished?
I mean, like fully finished, where I can say probably around springtime.
Okay, yeah,
like
still a few
mid-spring.
months to go.
Absolutely.
And
especially-
COVID isn't going to stop you from doing what you got to do there.
Never,
Of
never,
course not,
ever.
yeah.
I mean, I used to work out of my bedroom, a
Right,
tiny little
yeah, we
bedroom
all
at
did,
my
I
parents'
guess, at
house.
some
So
point,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I mean, I'll do
I
whatever
still
I
do,
can.
and I reach
wherever.
out to people. What do you think I was when you contacted me?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever
Wow.
you can.
That's great. How big is the room? What do you tell me about what the room looks like? What do you have, like paints on the wall and lithographs and stuff like that?
So right now, I really just have my desk.
Okay.
We're planning on getting another big desk for me, so I could kind of sprawl out. I'm kind of a little bit of a
Okay.
messy worker. I work in chaos.
Don't-
But
yes.
I've got all the fabrics that I could ever possibly need.
Okay.
A lot of stuff from like old T-shirts that I used to have, old
Okay.
T-shirts that my friends have given me. Big giant bins of like paint, sewing stuff, different materials like charms and studs and spikes. From my last job, I was working at a salon. I dumped whatever was left of my paycheck into
Okay.
this place in my little studio. So, and then I plan on like hanging up all my art and tapestries and stuff, and just kind of making it feel like home to me.
Right. So now you do sell on the street sometimes, right? Or you have?
I have before, yeah.
Yeah, like
Hopefully, we're gonna get back to that after I go to a few more shows and
Right.
stuff.
Like, I mean, did you ever ever go out like the Faneuil Hall on a warm summery day at Boston?
Unfortunately, I have not.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that
I know
is
you don't mind
definitely soon.
traveling.
Oh,
Yeah, obviously.
not at all. I
Yeah.
love traveling. Any excuse to get out of Connecticut, to be honest.
No, of course, yeah. I mean, you got to get out of the house every now and then, too.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you never actually been athletic at all? You never did sports in school growing up?
I was a snowboarder for a long time, and
Okay.
then knee injury kind of stopped
Oh,
that for
yeah,
me.
yeah.
So I kind of got the knees of an 80-year-old man, so it kind of stopped me from there. So.
Okay. Okay, well, that's snowboarding. That's something. I guess you don't mind winter then, obviously.
Oh no, I love the winter.
Love
It's
the
probably
winter?
my favorite. Yep.
Yeah, okay, well, have you ever gone like south? Have you ever gone farther south so you've never actually done any promoting on the road outside of New England, though, yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet, okay.
Not yet.
I'm thinking but you are planning to migrate to California and probably,
Yes.
and you'll be out, you'll be selling to all the stars out there.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the dream,
Yep, of course. Of course. All right. So have you been getting any media coverage down there, or any newspaper coverage for what you do?
Unfortunately not. I mean, Connecticut isn't really known for, being very artsy.
Okay,
Really?
okay.
It's really just a lot of like my friends being really great people and
Yep.
supporting me and backing me and loving what I do,
Of course.
That's where I get the most spread. I mean, I've gotten so many shares of my work, or people like wear my stuff and they have pretty big followings, so people come from their stuff, and it's a big network. You
is.
scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, kind of thing.
Right, I understand. So, like, oh, what are you wearing here? This is a genuine Ash Fisher I'm wearing here.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Absolutely.
Do you sew your name? Do you sew the name of your pseudonym into your clothes too? That you sell?
Yeah, so I'm in the process of making little tags for myself.
Okay.
It's been a little hefty because I'm kind of a little bit of a perfectionist, but
We should,
whatever works,
you're not
right?
a little perfectionist. You're either a perfectionist or you're not.
Oh, I absolutely
Okay,
am.
no,
Yeah.
I know that. Okay.
Absolutely.
So what about selling to stores? Have you done that?
No, I try and keep it as small as possible to try
Okay.
and keep that cheap factor. I want to keep everything as available as possible. I want the 14-year-old that I used to be
Yep.
able to go and see my Instagram or see a TikTok from me and be like, hey, like I really like your stuff, and not almost pass out at the price of what it is.
I understand. Well, what about maybe possibility of opening your own store at some point?
Oh, yep, that's the goal. That's the dream.
Okay, you could probably do it right out of your house if you zone for it.
Honestly, yeah.
Well, guess what, Ash? Like I said, we're down to the final 5 minutes.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just
Sounds
got the
good.
hand signal. And so what I want you to do is to when you look at the camera, give shouts out to people who are going to see the show. You can start with your fiance sitting right there, and
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
then wrap it up.
I'd like to shout out my fiance, Daniel. He's the biggest support thing, that I've got. Hayden, thank you so much. I mean, you're probably my #1 fan. I absolutely love you. Richie and Vincent from Pull the Curtain, I love you guys, and I can't wait to work for you more. Anybody that's ever supported me in this, anybody that's ever even shared my work, I can't say how much I appreciate it, And thank you for having me
Yeah,
here.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
hope you had a good time.
Absolutely, this is great.
Okay, and now what I always ask all my upcoming guests, I always say that, I'm such a fool. What I always ask my guests as we wrap the show up is that if you did have a good time with me, you obviously know a lot of people. Give them my digits, have them contact me, we'll get them on as guests. I'm
Yeah,
sure there are
absolutely.
plenty of
I've already
interesting people.
2 steps ahead of you on that. So
Okay, no, I mean, like you were a word of mouth guest, and
Absolutely.
from you we'll get more. Now, before we wrap the show up officially, is there anything on the horizon that you have going on in the next few months that you might have overlooked that you want to mention? Any shows or anything like that?
really, honestly, it's just I have a line coming out soon. So all of the stuff here that you see, except for my fiance's hoodie, will be for sale. And the line of shirts that I'll be having, I mean, it's just big projects that are in the works. More to sell.
Okay. Well, you did a wonderful job with me, Ash, and I
Thank you
want
so
to thank
much.
you. I always say it's a great guest to make Topic Time Prime, and you certainly have.
Absolutely.
And on that note, we're ready to wrap the show up the way we began, and hopefully my boombox won't go to sleep like it did at the beginning, and then skip over it when I ask it to stop. So are you ready to wrap it up the way we started it?
Absolutely.
Okay, folks, thanks for watching Topic Time. More great episodes to follow. See you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye. All right.